All right, how's it going, everyone? My name is Sean, and I wanted to show you my Kei Truck build. There's a lot of people turning these into different type of food trucks, coffee trucks, ice cream trucks, pizza trucks, a bunch of stuff. And now that these are getting more and more popular, there's a lot of builds going on and a lot of questions being asked about materials that were used, how you built it, how you secured it. So I wanted to show you guys how I built ours. My wife asked me if she could have a popsicle truck, and I had a friend who was selling this truck. He had already imported it. I'm in North Dallas area. He had already done all the legwork. So for me, it was an easy purchase. I basically bought it. It was just a stock truck. This is a 1995 Daihatsu Hijet. And it was basically just the truck um, as it was. He had put some new wheels and tires on it and some over fenders and some sunshades on the windows. Those are off right now. But I got it for a good deal, and we're turning it into a popsicle truck. So essentially everything you're seeing back here wasn't on it. Now, right now, we have a drink fridge and uh, a glass top chest freezer. That's all we're going to need to operate our business. We're selling prepackaged popsicles. We're going to drive around and sell stuff. Our truck is actually going in next week to be wrapped. So everything right now isn't wrapped. We have everything designed with a company, and it's going to look really cool. But what most of you guys have questions about are the frames, and you guys can put in whatever you want. So I want to give you a tour, I guess you could say, of what I used for the frame and everything, how I built it out. So let me show you that now. All right, so everything that you're seeing behind me can basically be built with 3 different steel materials. I went to a steel supplier here and got all of the metal I needed for like less than 200 bucks. So 1.5-inch square tubing, 16 gauge. That is what the main frame is built out of. And I'm gonna put some like B-roll somewhere in here and you can see how I was welding it up. So I used 1.5-inch square tubing for the main frame. It's basically a trapezoid frame. That's about it. The doors right here, these are made from 1-inch square tubing, 16 gauge, some scrap material. And then for some random brackets and other things you made, some 1.5-inch, this might be 2-inch, 2-inch flat bar. I don't know what gauge it is, but it's about 3/16 thick, something like that. So those are the only materials I used. And then you need a metal chop saw. I bought the Porter Cable 14-inch metal chop saw from Amazon. It was like 150, 170 bucks. And then I already had a Harbor Freight flux core welder. You can get those anywhere on sale from like 100 to 150 bucks. I have a bunch of other tools that you're going to use throughout this project, but those are the big ones that you're going to need if you're going to weld up your own thing. So those are the main materials. All right, now the skin, all of the black that you're seeing, this is called aluminum composite materials, or ACM, ACP, goes by a couple different names. If you look close, basically what it is, it's a super thin sheet of aluminum skin, and then it's sandwiched with like a plastic core, and then it's got another piece of metal on the backside. And what I liked about this is I bought 5 sheets of 4x8, and unlike an aluminum panel, with this you can literally score it with a razor blade and snap it. So what I did was, on this back panel, as you see here, how it's kind of like a trapezoid shape, I cut the piece in half as a square, put it up against the frame, used a pen to mark out where my shape was, put a ruler on it, scored it with a razor blade, bent it, snapped it, super easy. I then bonded it with 3M VHB tape to put the panel on, and then I used rivets. So all of the panels, steel, everything, you probably can't see it, but they're riveted to the frame. So just drilled it in, riveted it. The VHB tape is holding everything on. It's on pretty good, and as you can see from the inside, it's literally just 1 sheet thick. So it's 3mm ACM film. I got this on Facebook Marketplace. You can find it from sign companies like Signorama or any of those other companies. This is mainly used for like outdoor signs because it's waterproof. But they wanted to charge me almost like 160 bucks a sheet, and I got these for $60 a sheet. on Facebook Marketplace. They come in, I wish I got white because the black right now in the Texas heat is absolutely brutal. But the wrap that we're going to get is going to mitigate a little bit of that. The white on here now is just a protective cover. But yeah, they come in white, they come in black, they come in a bunch of other colors. That is how we did the whole frame. Now let me show you how it's connected to the truck. So looking at how this is connected to the truck, you can see here there's a bolt there, there's a bolt there, and there's 4 total on the other side. So what I did was, let me lift this up. I welded that flat bar to the inside of the frame and then bolted it through the truck. So I have 4 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch flat bar welded to the frame on each side, and it's bolted through the truck into here. What I did was basically I built the frame on top of the bed, so it's exact dimensions, it's an exact fit. I basically tack welded it exactly where it needed to be, slid it off the truck to finish the welds. They're not great welds, not a great welder, but welded it, ground them down, painted everything to make it look good. I bought 4 100 Newton gas struts. These are 24 inches, 100 Newtons, got them from Amazon. I was going to put 1 on each side, but a couple things happened. One, I made my frame too wide, the inner frame to the outer frame. I left 1 inch on each side, and I needed probably 2 inches for the gas strut with all of the, just for the clearance between this and the frame where it's connected to. But this was also strong enough, so I didn't really need 2 on each side. So I have 1 on each side. It holds up the door perfectly strong enough. Now I can put it down, lifts it up, holds it up, no problem. I could probably put another one in later if I need to, but right now it's fine. As for how I'm keeping the doors down and secured, I welded on some flat bar to the bottom so that the frame has somewhere to rest against. You put the door down, and I have these T latches here, just like for a truck bed, for a camper bed. Got these on Amazon as well. It holds it back, holds it in, no problem. Now on this back side, I also had an issue with this panel being a little loose, so I bought a thumb screw, and I can lock that in, no problem. Open, closed, open that, twist that, lift it up. All right, so the very last thing that you guys need is the hinge. I was very confused as to what type of hinge I needed to use for these doors. I am using what's called a hurricane hinge. You look that up on YouTube, you're gonna see a bunch of teardrop campers using these types of hinges. So what it is, it's a 2-part aluminum frame. It basically has these weird little shapes here. And what they do is you slide them in, they slide into each other, and they create a waterproof seal. So when you're holding it, it's very confusing, but essentially one is riveted to the frame, the other half is riveted to the door, and what happens is, so if it's like this, you swing it up and swing it back. So I don't know how it's oriented on there, but essentially water, it rains, water goes into these channels right here, it comes out the sides. Basically it gives you a 90-degree hinge opening. Perfect for what I needed. On here, everything is riveted. So I have VHB tape underneath the hinge. You can see the top half up here riveted to the main 1.5-inch tubing frame itself. And then I came back with the door frame, riveted it to the small frame, and then I put these aluminum panels on last. So I hope that answers everyone's questions. I customized a lot of it as I was building it, so no 2 trucks are going to be the same, but essentially 1.5-inch tubing for the sides, 1-inch tubing for the frame, 3mm aluminum composite panels, hurricane hinge, rivets, and a whole bunch of time and weekends because I could only work on this on Saturdays. So hopefully that answers a lot of you guys' questions. And let me know if you have any more. We're still working on the truck. It's going to be a never-ending project, but thanks, guys.